Hey, hi, and hello. I'm Angry Gorilla, and welcome back to the PokeMMO server. So, if you're like me and you are doing your all in terms of getting prepped for the event season that has started, and we've got the Christmas event coming up soon, you're more than likely getting your Mons ready for raids and all that. So, you probably need to do your EV training. So, EV training is a factor that we can train 510 points, and that affects our total stats. So, it's good to EV train in certain aspects based on what you want to increase your Pokemon output from. And by doing so, we can face all different types of Pokemon that will give an EV yield. So for every primate we defeat, we get to attack EV. So more commonly, what we find is that we use hordes to be able to train EVs quite efficiently and effectively, because if we're defeating a 5 times horde, that is effectively 10 EV yield per horde. Ultimately as well, we can go down to the miscellaneous here and we can get the XP amplifier, which then either distributes its XP and EVs among all healthy Pokemon. Okay, so we have this, or we can get ourselves the training link, which when held by a Pokemon, it prevents the holder from gaining any experience, but doubles the EV gain. So this is very useful if you want to quickly train up some EV, although not get up any experience. So with that being said, I just want to point out the fact that my EV clearer is a Alpha Raichu, which has the moves Discharge, Serve, and Sweet Scent. So ultimately, I can train 5 Pokemon at the same time with XP shares, or if I want to use the XP reamplifier or training links, I can do 5 at a time based on the fact that I can do Sweet Scent, Surf, or Discharge. With everything that I have said going into today, on top of that, to know what EV a Pokemon does hand out, so what the EV yield is. More commonly, we can look at the base stats, and it will be the highest base stat that Pokemon has. So Arcanine's base attack is 110, the highest of all the stats. So that is why it gives an attack EV yield. If we look at someone like who we know would have a high defense or HP, like Wailord, we can see that it has a high EV yield to HP, because we can see that the HP stat is the highest of the 6. So there's that. Some more other examples are, say, like we got Nidoking, which has attack, so we can see that the attack yield is the highest. So now leading on to that, and that is the debrief of EVs and how you obtain them. What we're going to do is now I would like to showcase my 3 favorite spots here in the Kanto region for you to train your HP EV. So like I said, I'm going to showcase my 3 favorite spots when it comes to EV training a certain stat in each particular region. So be sure to subscribe and look out for all these guides in terms of where you could EV train depending on which region you like working in the most. So the first Pokemon that we want to talk about today for HP is going to be found here on 6 Island in Ruin Valley. You will need a Pokemon that has Surf, so that's why it is good that we use Raichu. We can then use a Repel. Okay, make our way down, across. We pretty much are aiming to be in this water patch here in Ruin Valley. Because once we're in this water patch, once we use our Sweet Scent, we should encounter 100% Marils, which give 10 EV yield per horde. So not too far away from the 6 Island PC. So you do have the repel cost if you want to use that, or you can use lepers. You can constantly go through and take out as many Marrow hordes as possible until you get your 252 HP. But looking at Marrow and its shiny variant, it's always good to have that option as well. If you are shiny hunting as well, there's been a few times where I've come across some shinies on my own whilst EV training. Now the next Pokemon that I'd like to HP EV train on is Nidorina. So Nidorina is a 5x horde, which we can find on Route 14, which is east of Fuchsia. You do need a HM cut, so always think of having that Pokemon. It's not too far away from the Future PC, so it's always good to have a Pokemon that has either fly or teleport in order to get back to a PC quickly. So we make our way past all these trainers. Then my mistake is just up here in this grass patch. Once we cut this, we can now go into this grass patch. We can use Sweet Scent and we can take out 5x Nidorina hordes. So the beauty of having Raichu as well here is that it does have Surf, so clears hordes effectively. Also on top of that, Nidorina is a beautiful shiny, so I'll showcase what Nidorina looks like here as well as its shiny variant. So ultimately, if you don't want to be using the same EV training location, it's always good to have that potential chance on encountering a shiny. So as you can see, we have the blue Nidorina and the beautiful purple shiny variant. Now the last location that I like to HP train in Kanto is a 2 chance in order to get 2 different types of shinies here, if that is what you're going for while EV training. And that is either Lickitung or Wobbuffet, which can be found in Cerulean Cave. Now, just a disclaimer that Cerulean Cave, you do need to have the Elite Four complete and all the islands in order to gain access into Cerulean Cave, as well as you need HM Surf. So a lot to digest there in order to get into Cerulean Cave. But once again, you've got your Raichu, and we can make our way over north of Cerulean City. Now, one thing that I will say is that your Raichu is probably not actually strong enough in order to take out the Wobbuffets and Lickitungs due to them having clearly high HP. So it's always good to just add in an item that would make your attack just that little bit stronger. So I'm just using a magnet here because it increases your discharge. So if we get Lickitungs here, we can see level 50s across the board. What we can do now is we now just use discharge and we can take them all out in one clean hit. So let's hope that we get a Wobbuffet. Here we go. So there we can see we get both Wobbuffets or Lickitungs here. So it's a nice little spot that you want to train HP EVs as well as potentially shiny either a Wobbuffet or a Lickitung, which I'm sure I have showcased the different sprites for each. So hopefully that's been useful and a nice way to show you different locations in order to EV train. Potentially could get a shiny out of it. It's always fun to change things up here on PokeMMO. It's always good to have different avenues in terms of what you can do the same thing. So effectively we're getting the same EV outcome as well as then trying different Pokemon in different locations. You never know, you could get a shiny from it, or it's just ultimately just having some fun. So I'm going to showcase my 3 or 4 favorite locations to EV train each stat in all regions. So be sure to subscribe and keep on the lookout for all those videos. I'm Angry Gorilla. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. It's a nice short one, so hopefully you leave it a like, comment your thoughts down below. Is there anywhere that you train EV in particular? And let me know in the comments. Like always, look after yourself, keep cool, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.